Tiffany Li's story is one of wealth, privilege, betrayal, and murder, set against the affluent backdrop of Hillsborough, California, a community often associated with serene wealth rather than violent crime. But on April 28, 2016, the facade of privilege was shattered when Keith Green, Tiffany's ex-boyfriend and the father of her children, disappeared under mysterious circumstances. His death would spark a media frenzy, shining a light on a tangled web of love, jealousy, and money. Tiffany Li and Keith Green's romance began in the Bay Area years earlier. Keith was outgoing and charming, with dreams of making it big in the restaurant industry. Tiffany, the daughter of a wealthy Chinese real estate family, enjoyed an opulent lifestyle that Keith found intoxicating. The couple fell in love and soon had 2 daughters together. For a time, their relationship seemed solid. Tiffany's wealth and connections provided stability, while Keith played the role of doting partner and father. But as the years went by, cracks began to form. The couple clashed over Tiffany's family's influence on their lives and financial disputes. Tiffany's mother reportedly never approved of Keith, believing he was not good enough for her daughter. By 2015, their relationship had reached a breaking point, and Tiffany ended things. The breakup hit Keith hard. Not only did he lose the woman he once loved, but he also lost access to the luxurious lifestyle Tiffany had provided. Keith struggled to get back on his feet, both emotionally and financially. He moved into a friend's spare room, a far cry from the Hillsborough mansion he once called home. Despite the split, Tiffany and Keith remained connected because of their daughters. They agreed to joint custody, but tensions simmered beneath the surface. Keith reportedly felt that Tiffany used her wealth and influence to control their co-parenting arrangement, while Tiffany worried about Keith's instability and its potential impact on their children. On the evening of April 28, 2016, Keith went to meet Tiffany at the Millbrae Pancake House, a popular diner near her home. The meeting was meant to be about custody arrangements and financial support, but it would become a pivotal moment in the case. According to text messages Keith sent to friends that evening, he was optimistic about the conversation. He even planned to return to a friend's house after the meeting, but Keith never made it back. When he didn't return calls or messages, his friends grew worried. Keith's phone was soon discovered in Golden Gate Park, miles away from the diner where he had met Tiffany. This discovery deepened suspicions that something had gone terribly wrong. Days later, on May 11, 2016, Keith's body was found in a remote wooded area near Sonoma County. He had been shot in the neck, and his remains were in an advanced state of decomposition, making it difficult to determine the exact sequence of events that led to his death. The investigation quickly zeroed in on Tiffany and her new boyfriend, Kaveh Bayat. Kaveh, a wealthy contractor who had been dating Tiffany for several months, reportedly had a strained relationship with Keith. Authorities believe that Tiffany and Kaveh saw Keith as an obstacle to their perfect life together. According to prosecutors, Tiffany feared losing custody of her children and was tired of Keith's demands for financial support. The prosecution's theory was chilling. Tiffany and Kaveh allegedly orchestrated Keith's murder, enlisting the help of Olivier Adela, a towering former MMA fighter who worked as a bodyguard for Tiffany. Adela later admitted to disposing of Keith's body, but claimed he had no involvement in the killing itself. As evidence mounted, police uncovered surveillance footage showing Adela purchasing a large pack of garbage bags at a nearby store shortly before Keith's body was dumped. Investigators also found suspicious text messages between Tiffany and Kaveh that seemed to discuss a problem that needed to be taken care of. The case made headlines not only because of its gruesome nature, but also because of Tiffany's staggering wealth. After her arrest, Tiffany's family posted an astonishing $35 million bail, one of the highest in U.S. history. The move highlighted the stark contrast between Tiffany's life of privilege and Keith's struggles. When the case went to trial in 2019, the courtroom was packed with spectators eager to see how the drama would unfold. The prosecution argued that Tiffany and Kaveh had coldly plotted Keith's murder, portraying them as entitled and ruthless. They pointed to Tiffany's financial motives, suggesting she wanted to cut Keith out of her life permanently to avoid further disputes over money and custody. But Tiffany's defense team painted a different picture. They argued that Tiffany had no reason to harm Keith, emphasizing her wealth as evidence of her lack of financial motive. They also portrayed her as a devoted mother who would never jeopardize her children's well-being. The defense pointed fingers at Adela, arguing that he acted alone and was trying to shift blame to save himself. The trial lasted for weeks, with dramatic testimony and heated arguments on both sides. At its heart was the question of whether Tiffany and Kaveh had conspired to kill Keith, or if Adela had acted independently. In a shocking twist, the jury ultimately acquitted Tiffany and Kaveh of all charges. The verdict was a devastating blow to Keith's family, who had hoped for justice. Many observers believe Tiffany's wealth and resources played a significant role in her acquittal, raising questions about the fairness of the legal system. Olivier Adela, meanwhile, pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact and was sentenced to 3 years in jail. His role in the case remains murky, with lingering questions about how much he knew and whether he acted alone in disposing of Keith's body. The aftermath of the trial left more questions than answers. Tiffany Li has largely retreated from public life, her reputation forever tainted by the allegations. Kaveh Bayat has also kept a low profile, while Adela's conviction has done little to bring closure to Keith's family. For those who knew Keith, the pain of his loss remains fresh. His friends and family remember him as a kind-hearted man who loved his daughters deeply. The tragedy of his death is compounded by the uncertainty surrounding what truly happened that night in April 2016. The case of Tiffany Li and Keith Green is a haunting reminder that even in the most privileged communities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface. It's a story of love gone wrong, the devastating consequences of greed and betrayal, and the enduring question of whether justice was truly served.